A blessed day, grade 10. How are you? I hope you're still okay. Here's a video again, which I think will help you in answering your modules and tasks. I am Gemalyn Aguilar, your teacher in Mathematics 10. And this video is created exclusively for you, grade 10 of Sangbayan Integrated School. Our lesson is actually on polynomial functions. Actually, this is not your first time to graph functions, because when you were in grade 7, you were already graphing linear functions, and during your grade 9 and grade 8, you graphed quadratic functions.
You all know that the graph of a quadratic function is a parabola. Samantala, ngayon, sa nag-grade 10 na kayo, so you will be graphing polynomial functions. So, paano nga ba mag-graph ng polynomial functions? Ano nga ba ang itsura ng graph ng ating polynomial functions? Okay, so for us to review, magkakaroon tayo ng review doon sa nakaraan na lesson nyo. So, let's have this polyback. Okay. Anong polyback? Okay, polynomial is back. Kaya tinawag na polyback. So, in here, there are 4 items here. I hope na mag-participate kayo. Okay. So, the first one is degree, yung item number 1. This should be by group kung meron sanang face-to-face. Okay, so this is degree. Yung number 1 is degree. Dito naman, sa number 2 is the leading coefficient. Dito naman sa number 3 is the kind of degree. Ibig sabihin kind of degree is it even or odd? Yun lang. Sign of the coefficient. Siyempre, sign is it's either negative or positive. Okay. So, dito naman lalabas yung ating mga answers kung correct. So, I'll give you time to answer and then I'll post here the correct answers. Okay. So, are you ready? This is it. So, you will be rated according to this one, the PTCRB. Ayan. So, you'll be rated as G, PG, and SPG. So, in here, your honesty will be tested because in this activity, you're going to write your answer in any sheet of paper, then check it when the answer is posted. So, you will be rated G if you participated and got the correct answer and explain the answer when asked. Of course, PG if you participated and got the correct answer. And SPG kapag nag-participate ka sa activity. Siyempre, hindi tayo perfect, kaya kapag hindi mo nakuha yung sagot, at least nag-participate ka, so you will be rated SPG. Diba? Ganyan ang mga ratings ng ating mga pinapanood. It's either G, PG, or SPG. Okay, so are you ready? So, this is a polynomial. We have p of x is equal to 2x raised to 4 minus 3x squared minus x squared plus 7x minus 24. Number 1, you are asked to write the degree. Number 2, the leading coefficient. And number 3, the kind of degree is either even or odd. And the sign of the coefficient. I'll give you time to do it. Ayan. So, ano yung degree? What is the degree? Saan natin makikita yung ating degree? Of course, the degree is always the highest exponent na makikita mo dito sa given. So, ano nga ba ang highest exponent? So, sa ating mga terms, ano yung mga exponent na meron dito? So, dito, syempre, sa 24, the exponent is 0. What about here? The exponent is 1. And dito, the exponent is 2. And dito, another 2. And dito, the exponent is 4. So, what is the degree? So, the degree is, of course, it's 4. Ayan. And the leading coefficient. Paano naman natin malalaman yung ating leading coefficient? Okay, bakit natin kailangan yung degree, leading coefficient, kind of degree, and sign of the coefficient? Kasi magagamit natin ito in graphing our polynomials. Okay, so saan naman natin makikita yung ating leading coefficient? Of course, kung nasaan yung ating degree, nandun din yung ating leading coefficient. Kung ang degree natin is this exponent, yung number na nandito, it is our leading coefficient. So, ano yung ating leading coefficient? So, in this case, our leading coefficient is 2. Okay, and then next, the kind of degree. What kind of degree? Ano yung klaseng degree meron tayo? So of course, the degree is 4. Is it even or odd? So, syempre, even numbers are, ano ulit yung ating mga even numbers? Numbers that ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So yun ang ating even. Ang ating odd naman, numbers that ends with 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Yun ang ating mga odd numbers. So of course, since this is 4, it is even. Next, the sign of the coefficient. Ano ba yung sign ng ating leading coefficient? This one. So as you can see, walang nakalagay. And as we said, as we always say, kapag walang nakalagay, it is always positive. O, hindi positive sa COVID-19 na. So this is positive. Okay. So did you get the correct answer? Ayan. Next question. We have P of x is equal to 2x minus 2x raised to 3 minus 5x squared minus 11. So the questions are this one. We have the leading coefficient. For number 1, what is the leading coefficient? Number 2, what is the degree? Number 3, what is the sign of the coefficient? Number 4 is the kind of degree. Okay, what is the leading coefficient? Siyempre, makikita mo yung leading coefficient dun sa kung nasaan yung ating degree. Okay. So, in here, the leading coefficient is negative 2. Kasi ang ating degree is 3. Tama ba? Okay. So, ang ating leading coefficient is negative 2. Ayan. Ang ating degree is 3 since it is the highest exponent. Ayan. What is the sign of our coefficient? So, in here, dito sa answer mo dito sa una is makikita mo na yung sign ng ating leading coefficient. And of course, it's negative. What kind of degree we have? So, since this is 3, then it is odd. Okay. Next. This one. P of x is equal to x raised to 5 plus 32. So, the questions are, this one. Na-disarrange lang siya. So, kind of degree. Anong klaseng degree meron tayo? Ayan, yung ating degree. Isa lang naman ang nandyan. Next, the sign of the coefficient. Naku, wala namang nakalagay na coefficient. Paano yan? Naku. Diba, sabi natin, pag walang nakasulat dyan, it is always 1. Okay. Degree. What is our degree? And then, what is our leading coefficient? The answers are, we have the kind of degree, since that is 5, then it is odd. The sign of the coefficient, since wala namang naka-indicate yan, it is positive. And the degree is 5. Ayan. And then, the leading coefficient is 1. Kasi walang nakasulat. Next question. This one. We have P of x is equal to 4x raised to 4 minus 3x squared minus 32 minus 5x raised to 6. So, the questions are, we have the sign of the coefficient, kind of degree, leading coefficient, and the degree. Okay, what is the sign of our coefficient? It is negative. What is the kind of degree? It is, since this is 6, then it is even. What is the leading coefficient? It is negative 5. And the degree is 6. Okay. So, you're going to count how many G, PG, and SPG did you get. G is equivalent actually to 15 points, and PG is equivalent to 10 points, and SPG is equivalent to 5 points. If you are honest in writing and computing your ratings, then you'll be given another. Okay. So, walang question. Let's move on. Okay. So, ang ating objective for today is we are going to graph our polynomial functions. Kahit simpleng graph lang. At least nagawa mong mag-graph. Next is, you're going to describe the graph using the leading coefficient test. Yan, the leading coefficient test. So, I want you to listen well, to read well, para maintindihan mo kung ano yung leading coefficient test. So, how does the graph of a polynomial looks like? So, meron tayong video dito.
It's Professor Dave. Let's graph higher degree polynomials.
He knows a lot about all kinds of stuff. Professor Dave explains.
We now know how to graph a variety of functions, including parabolas, which are second degree or quadratic functions. But what about cubic functions, or quartic, or functions of higher degree still? This can get very difficult very fast, as plotting points gets rather time-consuming, and the behavior of these functions is not as predictable as lines and parabolas. But there are a few tricks we can use to get rough sketches of these functions that are fairly accurate and provide some key information about the function that is useful. Let's learn these tricks now. First, we must realize that polynomial functions with a degree of 2 or higher are smooth and continuous. They can have hills and valleys in the middle, but on either side, they tend to go towards positive or negative infinity. There are several possibilities for the end behavior of polynomial functions, which means what it does as x goes to positive or negative infinity. So let's start by learning how to figure out what the end behavior of a function will be. We can do this by using something called the leading coefficient test. We look at the leading term in a polynomial, or the term with the largest exponent, and we look at its exponent and coefficient. Depending on whether the exponent is even or odd, and whether the coefficient is positive or negative, we know what the end behavior will be. If the exponent is odd, such as with a cubic function, or one that starts with x to the 5th, x to the 7th, and so forth, if the leading coefficient is positive, the function will fall downwards to the left and rise upwards to the right. If the leading coefficient is negative, the function will rise upwards to the left and fall downwards to the right. We don't yet know what will happen in the middle, but this end behavior is a great start in terms of sketching the function. Then, if the exponent is even, such as with quadratic or quartic functions, or ones beginning with x to the 6th, x to the 8th, and so on, if the leading coefficient is positive, the function will rise upwards on both sides. If the leading coefficient is negative, the function will fall downwards on both sides. So those are the 4 possibilities in terms of the end behavior of higher degree polynomials.
Graph of polynomial functions are smooth and continuous. So dalawa lang ang itsura o dapat natin i-consider sa graph ng ating polynomial functions. It is smooth and continuous. So no sharp corners. Dapat yung pagga-graph nyo very smooth. Walang sharp na corners. And then, no gaps. Dapat hindi bababa yung kamay nyo. Baka may butas o baka may putol or holes. Can be drawn without lifting pencil from paper. So, this is an example of a graph of a polynomial function. But, this is not. Why? Meron siyang sharp corner. Okay? Meron din siyang, as you can see dito, naputol. Dapat tuloy-tuloy. Okay. Yan. So, this is not a graph of a polynomial function. Meron din siyang, ayan, may hole. So, dapat tuloy-tuloy, just like this one. Yan. So, nagkaroon na kayo ng idea kung paano i-graph ang ating polynomial function. Okay. A polynomial of degree n can have at most n minus 1 turning points. So, whatever the degree is, subtract 1 to get the most times the graph could turn. Okay, so naintindihan nyo ba yan? Okay, so ang ibig sabihin yan, kung ano daw yung degree or yung highest exponent, bawasan mo lang daw ng isa, then yun daw kung ilang beses iikot ang ating graph. Okay, example. Pero hindi rin daw ibig sabihin na kailangan example ang highest exponent mo is 5. So dapat 4 talaga na iikot meron siya. Ang sabi dito, at most. Yan. So, yun yung pinakamaraming ikot na niya. Hindi na pwedeng dagdagan. Okay? Pero, hindi pwedeng dagdagan, pero maaari siyang mabawasan. O, depende sa ating polynomial function. Okay? Let's say, for example, this is our polynomial function. F of x is equal to x raised to 4 minus 3x raised to 3 minus 15x squared plus 19x plus 30. So, our degree here is, as As you can see, the degree is 4. So, how many turning points meron tayo? So, 4 minus 1, bawasan mo lang ng isa. So, the turning point is 3. So, ibig sabihin, yung graph natin, iikot siya ng 3 beses. Ang turning point niya is 3 beses. 1, 2, 3. Ayan. So, 3 beses siya iikot. Okay. So, the number of turning, ayan, 4 yung ating degree. So, the number of turning point is 3. Okay. So, since alam naman na natin kung paano malaman kung ilang ikot pero ng ating polynomial, ano ang itsura ng graph ng ating polynomial. So, let's move on to the hand behavior. So, ang ating polynomial function ay may dalawang kamay. Okay. We have the left hand and the right hand. We always have the left hand and the right hand. Hindi pwedeng meron yung left, wala yung right. O, sa tao lang yun pwede. O. Pero sana walang ganun sa atin. Okay? Okay, so meron tayong left hand and right hand. The degree of the polynomial along with the sign of the coefficient of the term with the highest power will tell us about the left and the right behavior of the graph. O, ano daw? Yung degree, kaya natin ni-review kanina kung ano yung degree at saka yung sign of the coefficient ng ating polynomial function, yun ang magsasabi sa kung ano yung behavior ng ating left and right. Yung behavior ng left and right ng graph ng ating polynomial function. Let's do it. Okay, let's look at the graph of the polynomial where n is an even integer. So, kapag even, ayan, kapag yung ating degree is even, ayan, so look at the graph. Ayan, so this blue is the graph of our x squared. This red, pink ba yan? The graph, this is the graph of our x raised to 4. And this one is the graph of our x raised to 6. Anong na-observe nyo sa graph? Kapag yung ating exponent is even. Yan, even. It is 2, 4, and 6. Siyempre, pag merong raised to 8, paano ka itsura niya? X raised to 8, ayan, dadaan dito. Ayan, mas maluwang, dadaan dun sa loob. Pag meron tayong x raised to 10, ayan, dadaan dito, dadaan sa labas, ayan. And then, doon. So, what did you observe? Okay, so as you can see here, notice the graph looks like similar to x squared but wider and flatter near the origin between -1 and 1. So, parang kapareho lang daw ni x squared. Pero, as it goes higher, kapag tumataas, nagiging wider dito. Mas maluwang na dito. Mas lumalaki yung kanyang puwet. Ayan. Pero, grows steeper on either side. Pero, dumidikit naman siya dito sa ating y-axis. The higher the power, the flatter and steeper. Okay, kapag tumataas yung ating exponent, ang ating exponent, then, yung ito, dumidikit dyan. Tapos, ito naman, nagiging flat. Okay, flat. Ayan. So, anong masasabi nyo sa graph ng even number? Ano pa? Meron pa ba? Meron pa ba kayo na-observe dito? Ayan, siguro pag in-next ko siya, pag pupunta tayo sa odd, meron na kayong masasabi. Okay, this one. Look at the graph of a polynomial where n is an odd integer. Kapag odd naman yung ating exponent, ayan, anong itsura? Anong ipinagkaiba niya doon sa graph ng polynomial function na even yung kanyang exponent. So, kanina, both itong left and right hand ay, nakataas. Ayan, pag ganyan dalawa. Ngayon naman, meron naman ng galing sa baba at merong papataas. Okay. So, this one. So, this blue is the graph of our x raised to 3. That one, that red, is the graph of our x raised to 5. And this green is the graph of our x raised to 7. Okay. So, anong mapapansin natin? The graph looks like similar to x raised to 3 pa rin, but wider and flatter near the origin between, pareho sila. And grows steeper on either side. So, kapag lumalaki ang exponent, katulad din doon sa ating even kanina, dumidikit siya dito sa ating y-axis. Pero the higher the power, the flatter and steeper. Ganun pa rin. Okay. Ito. Ayan. Kapag even yung ating degree, so na yung sinasabi natin na the leading coefficient test. Kapag even yung ating degree, if the leading coefficient is positive and the graph rises to the left and to the right. Yan. So, meron tayong dalawang kamay, di ba? Kapag even ang ating degree, pareho sila ng, yung kamay ng ating graph ay pareho ng pupuntahan. Okay. It's either tataas or bababa. Dalawa lang. Okay. Depende kung anong sign ating leading coefficient. Kapag positive yung ating leading coefficient, at even yung ating degree, yung highest exponent natin ay even, at positive yung ating coefficient, then the left hand will rise and the right hand will rise. Pero kapag even yung ating degree at negative ang ating leading coefficient, then the left hand will fall, ayan, manggagaling sa baba, o pupunta sa baba, and the right hand will fall. Parehong mag-fall. Dito naman, pag positive, parehong mag-rise. Let's have an example. Even degree polynomial rise on both left and right hand sides of the graph. If they, ayan, ito yung graph, kapag even, ayan, yung left hand niya ay tataas, yung right hand niya ay tataas kung positive yung ating leading coefficient. Okay. Kapag even naman at negative, ayan, negative yung ating leading coefficient, then the left hand will fall and the right hand will fall. Both magpo-fall. Okay. Kapag even, pareho ang pupuntahan ng ating graph. Is either tataas na pareho or bababang pareho. Okay. Depende lang kung anong sign. Kapag positive, tataas. Kapag negative, bababa. Okay. Next. So, ito yung sinasabi natin kanina na turning point. To, ilang beses siya iikot. So, this one, ito yung isang unang ikot niya. Pangalawang ikot. And then, pangatlong ikot. So, what is the degree of this graph? Anong degree ng ating graph? As you can see, dahil meron siyang tatlong ikot, di ba? Yung turning point is, malalaman mo siya kapag binawasan mo yung degree ng isa. So, since meron siyang 3 turning points, then the degree is 4. Okay. And since both hands ay nakababa, ayan, nag-fall sila. So, anong ibig sabihin yan? Yung ating leading coefficient ay negative. Okay. Next. Paano naman pag yung ating degree ay odd? Okay, paano pag odd ang ating degree? Okay. If the leading coefficient is positive, the graph falls to the left and rises to the right. Ito na, magkaiba na yung kanilang pupuntahan. Kapag positive yung ating leading coefficient, papataas siya. Ayan, yun lang tandaan nyo. Papataas. Kapag positive yung ating leading coefficient. Kapag naman negative yung ating leading coefficient, ay papababa. Okay. In other words, kapag positive yung ating leading coefficient at odd ang ating degree, the left hand will fall and the right hand will rise. Kapag negative naman yung ating coefficient at odd ang ating degree, the right hand will rise and the left hand will fall. Okay. Just like this one. Odd degree polynomials fall on the left and rise on the right hand. Okay. Kapag positive. Yan, papataas. Yan ang sabi ko kanina. Okay. So, x raised to 3. Ayan. Ang x raised to 3 natin, ano yung ilang turning point? So, since this is 3 minus 1 is 2. So, meron siyang dalawang turning point. So, 1, 2. Ayan. Papataas siya kasi positive ang ating leading coefficient. Next, what about this one? Odd degree polynomials rise on the left. Ayan. Kapag naman negative, tataas ito, bababa siya. Okay. Kapag negative, pag negative ang ating leading coefficient. Ayan. Okay, so let's have an example. Ito yung inanseran natin kanina. Let us describe the graph using the leading coefficient test. Leading coefficient test. Since the degree is 4, how many turning point? So, dito sa degree, dito tayo magbe-base kung ilang turning point ang ating polynomial, ang graph ng ating polynomial. Since the degree is 4, so, ilang turning point? We have 3 turning points. The leading coefficient is 2 and it is positive. Ayan. So, 4. Even siya. Even at positive. So, ibig sabihin, paano itsura ng ating graph? Okay. There will be 3 turning points. The left hand, ano itsura ng left hand natin? Kasi positive, kaya both, di ba? Yung right at saka yung left will rise. The left hand rises and the right hand will rise also. Okay. If we are going to sketch the graph, ayan, let's try to sketch it. Ano itsura ng ating graph? The left hand, ayan, yung left hand ay galing sa taas, syempre. And then the right hand will rise also. So, ilang turning point? 3. So, we have 1, 2, 3. Ayan, nag-rise yung ating, magra-rise yung ating left hand, magra-rise din yung ating right hand. So, and there will be 3 turning points. Okay, that is the sketch of our graph. Next, kanina, ito, inanseran din natin, the degree is 3, so it's odd. Correct? And this one is negative. Ayan, this is 3, it's odd and negative. Ibig sabihin, hindi magkapareho ang pupuntahan ng kamay ng ating graph kasi odd yun. Okay, since it is odd and this is negative, so papababa siya. Okay, so how many turning points? There will be 2 turning points. And then, the left hand will rise. Manggagaling sa taas, diba? Kaya magra-rise siya. And the right hand will fall. And let us sketch the graph. Ang itsura ng ating graph. So, manggagaling sa taas. And then, there will be 2 turning points. 1, 2. And then, papababa na siyang ganyan. Ganyan ang itsura ng ating graph. Okay. 1, 2 turning points. And then, yung left hand nakataas, yung right hand ay nakababa. Okay. Next. Ito, paano naman pag ganito? Yan. What is the degree? Oh, bakit may degree naman na dyan? Paano malaman yung degree dito? So, syempre, this is multiplication. Kapag pinag-times mo yan, lalabas na ang degree natin is 7. Paano nangyari yun? Using the laws of exponents, di ba? Kapag magkakapareho yung variable, we are going to add the exponents. So, this is 3 plus 2 plus 1. So, the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, the degree is 7. And the kind of degree is odd. Ayan, so odd. What is the sign of the coefficient? Ayan, so wala namang negative dito. So, it is positive. The leading coefficient is 6. Ayan. So, there will be, since the degree is 7, then there will be 6 turning points. The left hand, paanong itsura ng left hand natin? Positive siya. Sabihin, papataas tayo. Papataas. So, yung left hand natin ay magagaling sa baba. And yung right hand natin ay tataas. And let us sketch the graph. There will be 6 turning points, ha? So, yung ating left hand magagaling sa baba. So, 1 turning point, 2 turning point, 3 turning point, 4, 5, 6. Oh, tama ba ako? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ayan, 6 turning points. And then, tataas na yung ating right hand. Yan. Ganyan ang itsura ng ating graph. So, there will be 6 turning points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. O, dapat hindi ganun na, hindi flat. Dapat smooth siya. O, mouse lang kasi ang ginagamit ko. Kaya, yan, smooth siya dapat. Walang ganun na. Okay, the left hand falls and the right hand rise. Okay. Next, what about this one? It's even. Our degree is even. And the leading coefficient is negative. Kapag even, both, di ba? Pareho ang pupuntahan ng kamay. It's either rise or fall. But since this is negative, so it will fall. So, there will be how many turning points? 5 turning points. And then, the left hand will fall. The right hand will also fall, of course. And let us sketch the graph. So, galing sa baba, there will be 5 turning points. 1, 2, 3, 4, ilan na? 1, 2, 3, 4, isa na lang, 5. Magpo-fall sila ang dalawa. Because the leading coefficient is negative. Yan.
Let's do this Polish showdown. In this activity, you're going to choose what you want to perform according to your interests, whether P, O, L, or Y activity. It also depends on the availability of materials you have and the situation you are in now. You may submit your output by sending it on Messenger, or you may send it through Share It when you are going to get the next set of learning activities for next week. Is it clear?
Okay, so if you choose P to do, then you're going to graph the given polynomial using GeoGebra or any application online or offline. Kasi meron din tayong mga applications aside from GeoGebra na kung saan you can also graph your polynomial function using that application. Okay. But if you choose O, then you're going to make a move or dance describing the graph of the given polynomial accompanied by any music. So if your talent is to dance, then here is your time to show it. And if you choose L, then you're going to compose a song describing the graph of a given polynomial tuned to any popular song familiar to you. Or if you can make a tune for your song, then you can do it. And for Y, you're going to sketch the graph of the polynomial given to you, showing the correct turning points and hand behavior of the polynomial function. Okay, so I hope you understand the direction. So here are the polynomials. We have P. For P, we have x is raised to 3 minus 4x raised to 2 minus 4x plus 60. And for O, you're going to make a move. For O, we have O of x, x raised to 4 plus 2x raised to 3 minus 5x squared minus 6x. And for L, if you choose to do that L's or the singing, then your polynomial function is negative x raised to 5 plus 15x raised to 3 plus 10x squared minus 24x. And for Y, we have negative x raised to 4 plus 2x raised to 3 plus 3x squared minus 2x plus 6. Why do we start graphing polynomials? Bakit ba natin pinapag-aralan ang pag-graph ng polynomials? Kasi sa higher mathematics, kinakailangan ang graphing polynomials. Ito yung mga ginagamit ng mga engineers. Okay.
So I have here a video where it explains how polynomial functions is used in real life.
So our life also is just like a graph of a polynomial. Diba? Merong pataas, may bababa. Mga times sa buhay natin, hindi natin yan maiiwasan. How do we graph polynomial functions again? So, paano ulit? So, kapag gagamitin natin yung ating leading coefficient test, madali lang. Malalaman natin yung hand behavior ng ating graph and the turning points. Okay, sketch and describe the graph of the function using the leading coefficient test. Okay, paki-screenshot nyo to at pag nasagutan nyo, paki-send sa GC natin. Okay, that's all for today and happy learning!